Welcome back. Here in the Blocks Editor, let's add some functionality to our calculator app. We're going to need 3 variables. Let's name the first one operand 1. And set the text property to an empty string. Now duplicate that to another variable, and we'll set the name of this variable to operand 2. Now let's duplicate one more time, and we'll set the name of this variable to operator. Operands 1 and 2 will be the 2 numbers being operated upon, and of course the operator variable will contain the actual operation: addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Now scroll down to the Any Component category and click the plus sign. Now you see a generic list of any components in our project. At this point, our project only consists of buttons, labels, and a table arrangement. So click on any button and drag an Any Button click event onto the Blocks Editor. This block represents all 16 buttons in our app. The component argument points to the actual button that was passed into this event when it was clicked. Now bring in an if-then block. We need to check to see if the button that was clicked represents one of the number buttons, 0 through 9. In the Math category, there is a block called isNumeric, which is the second block from the bottom. So we'll drag that into our if-then-else block. Next, from the Any Button component, we'll select an Any Button text box. And we'll attach that to the isNumeric block. Now select the component argument and attach that to the Any Button text block. So this statement now reads, if the value of the button that was just clicked is numeric, in other words, contains the digits 0 through 9, we want to take some action. And that action is to append the value of the button that was just clicked to the result label. So first, we'll bring in a setResult text block into the then condition. Now we want to concatenate or join the button text to the result label text. So first we'll bring in a join block from the text category. And set the first property to the result label text block. And for the second property, we can just duplicate the selected button's text component. Now remember that the result label's text value equals 0 at startup, so we need to check for this and replace it with an empty string before concatenating the button text. So we'll bring in an if-then block and place it as the very first block in the event. Now from the Math category, bring in an equals block. On the left side of the equation, let's bring in a result label text block. Now bring in an empty text box to the right side of the equation. and change its value to 0. For the then clause, let's bring in a set result label text block. And set its value to an empty string. That should complete our when any button click event. To recap, first we check to see if the result label text is 0. If so, we set it equal to an empty string. Then we check to see if the text of the button that was clicked is numeric. If so, we join that text to the result label. So let's give our app a quick test. I'll click on Test, connect to Companion. We'll scan for the barcode and wait for Codular to connect. And there's our app. So from a design standpoint, it looks fine. So now let's tap button number 1. Notice that it replaced the 0 that was in the result label with the value from button number 1. And if we select the rest of the numeric buttons, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Let's select 2 again, 3 again. Now if we tap on any button other than 0 through 9, nothing happens because we haven't written any blocks for that. So let's try the plus, minus, multiply, divide, equal, clear. So it looks like our app is working fine up to this point. Now it's time to program the button clear and reset button. First, let's set up a procedure that can be called by both to clear out the result label text and all of the internal variables. First, let's create a new procedure and call it clear. Now inside this procedure, let's bring in a result label text block. Let's also bring in our 3 variables using the set command. Now let's set the text property of each of these blocks to an empty string. This procedure will get called from the button clear as well as the button reset click events. So let's create these 2 events now. First, the button clear click event. Then we'll call the clear procedure. Now we can duplicate this event and change it to the button reset. Now let's test our application and notice that when we hit the clear button, the result label is cleared. Let's try it again. So it appears that our clear and reset buttons are working properly. Let's take a break right here. We'll finish up in the next and final video for this series.